Buddhism is a world religion founded by the Buddha in ancient India. Buddhists seek wisdom, meaning, inner peace, and freedom from greed, hatred, and ignorance. Mutually sustaining life, a Buddhist call to a troubled world.
When a Buddha land is founded upon the pure mind of a single person, that single pure mind draws other kindred minds to itself in the fellowship of like-minded people. Faith in Buddha spreads from individual to family, from family to village, from village to towns, to cities, to countries, and finally to the whole world.
Hello, we're pleased that you could join us as we continue to explore the fascinating facets of Buddhism. Our topic today is sharing the teachings with others. This forms a natural set with the act of seeking awakening, a topic we discussed a couple shows back. Seeking and sharing go hand in hand. In Buddhism, when a person attains some level of awakening, that person automatically begins to share the teachings with others. The Buddha exemplified this, for after awakening, he dedicated the rest of his life to sharing his understanding with others. He chose a life of a wandering monk to travel the kingdoms of the lower Ganges River in order to take the message to as many people as possible. During the long course of Buddhist history, there have been innumerable Buddhists who dedicated their lives to sharing the teachings with others. They include King Ashoka of the 3rd century BCE, who spread Buddhism throughout Indian subcontinent and beyond, and ordinary people who made donations to temples. In Buddhism, there is a doctrine of benefit for oneself, sva-artha, and benefit for others, para-artha. Once a person has benefited oneself by realizing some level of awakening, that person then makes a spontaneous effort to benefit others. One person who exemplifies the spirit of sharing and benefiting others is Yehan Numata. He founded the Society for the Promotion of Buddhism, the sponsor of this program series. I believe that his enormous contribution is worthy of dedicating today's show to him. Born in Hiroshima, Japan in 1897, he lived a long and productive life that spanned almost a century when he died in 1994 at the age of 97. He was born the 3rd son of a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist priest. Upon graduating from middle school, Yehan Numata felt a strong urge to further his education, but knew that his family could not afford a higher education for him. He then accepted an offer to go to Hawaii as an assistant missionary priest. After a few years in Hawaii working as a priest, he moved to Los Angeles, where he worked his way through high school. Once earning his diploma from Hollywood High School, he enrolled at the University of California, Berkeley. He majored in economics and then went on to earn his master's in economic statistics. During his college life, he met a number of Buddhist priests in California who impressed Yehan Numata by their personal virtues for transmitting the teachings. He found himself lacking in such qualities and decided then that he would not become a full-time priest, but instead support the spread of Buddhism through other means. Soon after completing his undergraduate work, Yehan Numata embarked on his first major effort directed toward propagation of Buddhism in 1925, when he began Pacific World, a journal in English targeting the learned American audience interested in Buddhism. The first issue of Pacific World included articles by an impressive group of contributors. They included David S. Jordan, president of Stanford University, several faculty members of the University of California, and Buddhist historian Kenneth J. Saunders. Professor Saunders' essay was entitled Buddhism and Christianity and the Historical Shakyamuni. However, after 4 years, Yehan Numata ran out of funds and was forced to abandon his project. This bitter experience convinced him even more of the importance of financial resources for sharing the teachings with others. Yehan Numata then decided to return to Japan to establish a business with the intent to direct portions of its earnings toward disseminating the Buddhist teachings. Back in Japan, he worked for a few years with the Japanese government before leaving the stable and prestigious job in order to focus on his startup business, Mitsutoyo Corporation, a company for manufacturing precision measuring instruments. The company grew and flourished, and by the mid-1960s, there were branch factories in other countries, including Germany, Brazil, and the US. With the prosperous business supporting his long-held dream, Mr. Numata was able to establish in 1965 Bukkyo Dendo Kyokai, the Society for the Promotion of Buddhism, a non-sectarian, non-profit organization for the promotion of Buddhism internationally. He understood the need to employ methods other than books and words to share the Buddhist message. He commissioned an artist to depict through paintings the major events in the life of the Buddha. He also funded production of a movie about a prominent Buddhist figure. He promoted modern music, which was quite rare for Buddhists. For example, he donated a huge pipe organ to a prominent Buddhist temple in Tokyo. He also realized the importance of practicing the teachings, not just reading about them, which led him to establish annual retreats for interested people to participate in the practices of various denominations. I have found his non-sectarian, ecumenical spirit most impressive. Though he was born into a Jodo Shinshu temple family, he sought to promote Buddhism as a whole. This attitude is reflected in the primary project of the Society for the Promotion of Buddhism, the distribution free of charge of the teaching of Buddha in hotel rooms. Since 1975, this book has been translated into 41 different languages and is found in 1,100,000 rooms in 55 countries. The Society has also promoted Buddhism in the academic area. For example, it has established scholarships for young Buddhist scholars, as well as established academic chairs of Buddhist studies at 14 institutions in Europe and North America, which include Oxford University, the University of California at Berkeley, the Institute of Buddhist Studies at the Graduate Theological Union in Berkeley, Harvard University, and the University of Calgary. Another project which began in 1982 seeks to translate it into English 139 main scriptures from the Chinese Buddhist canon, which when completed will contain close to 150 volumes. This is a project that is unprecedented, requiring about 150 international scholars. For all of these accomplishments, he was awarded honorary doctorate degrees from the University of Hawaii and Ryukok University in Kyoto. We have looked at Yehan Numata's accomplishments, which by any standard are impressive to say the least. He began with nothing, paid his own way through high school, college, and graduate school in a foreign country, and founded a profitable international company while keeping his promise to share the teachings with the world. Many who knew him wondered, where does he get his drive? Well, I got a hint of the answer to that question during my one encounter with him. He once visited Berkeley at the Institute of Buddhist Studies where I was teaching. He invited some of the faculty out for dinner at a traditional Japanese restaurant where we sat on tatami mats. The lively and enjoyable dinner lasted close to 2 hours, but after half an hour or so, all of us had our legs thrown out and were leaning against the walls. The one exception was Mr. Numata, who was 91 years old at the time. He sat in a dignified manner the whole time in the traditional Japanese style, on his knees with his legs folded under him and his back straight. I could not be more impressed by his stamina and discipline, undoubtedly derived from his inner calm and strength. This mind of calm and strength is none other than the beginner's mind, Shoshin, which he often spoke of as his guiding light in his life. Yehan Numata indeed faced life with the beginner's mind. In this way, he avoided preconceived attitudes and instead lay open to considering all possibilities. He had firm convictions about his goals, but was flexible in his methods. Despite his seniority and all his accomplishments, the beginner's mind also made him see himself on an equal footing with others. His humble demeanor was evident at that dinner when he spoke to my much younger, less accomplished colleagues and I with respect and concern. The beginner's mind further manifested itself in the form of his compassion for others and his optimism for the world. He expressed this when the once defunct Pacific World was revived in 1982 after more than 50 years. He stated, "Throughout my life, I have sincerely believed that Buddhism is a religion of peace and compassion, a teaching that will bring spiritual tranquility to the individual and contribute to the promotion of harmony and peace in society. For the opportunity to be able to contribute to the propagation of Buddhism and the betterment of humankind, I am eternally grateful." Today, through the distribution of the book and a host of other projects, Reverend Dr. Yehan Numata's wish to share the teachings with others lives on. In our final show next week, we plan to explore with a distinguished guest the topic of the distinctive contribution that Buddhism can make to this troubled world. Please join us again.
We at Bukkyo Dendo Kyokai pursue peace and happiness for people around the world. We have published the Buddhist teachings into 41 languages and donated our publication to hotels and other facilities in 55 countries. We would like to share the Buddhist teachings with people around the world. That's our mission. Visit our website for more information